Hey Xbox Nation, welcome to Double Barrel Gaming. My name is Mr. BoomStickXL, and this is X-Vlog episode number 7. Now, on today's new episode, we're going to be discussing the absence of Rare's new IP Everwild from E3 2021. We're also going to be talking about a report from June of 2021, and also we're going to be adding to the conversation. A friend of this community, Jeff Grubb, just dropped a bombshell regarding the state of the game, and now we know that the title has been restarted from scratch. Now, why this is concerning is the original creative director, Simon Woodruff, left in October of last year, and since then, the project has been silent. But Rare veteran Greg Mayles has now taken over Everwild as its creative director. And if the name doesn't really ring a bell for you, he does have one heck of an impressive resume, acting as lead designer or director on titles such as Donkey Kong Country, BanjoKazooie, and the 2018 spectacular known as Sea of Thieves. Now, when Everwild was first shown to us as gamers during XO19, personally, I walked away super stoked because the game's art design immediately gave me those Zelda Breath of the Wild vibes, with what appeared to be a total of 4 characters that either could be potentially switched at will or even done in a multiplayer element, allowing for big adventure with friends, right? When they first showed it off, we weren't sure exactly what the game was. Well, the last time we heard or saw anything from Everwild, it was during the Xbox E3 event in 2020, where Rare showed off a new trailer, which you can see running in the background, and the game looked absolutely stunning. And it appeared to have even more polish. And the original showing I thought was fantastic. The second showing was even better. But here's the thing, folks. As good as it looked, as great as Rare is and continues to be for Microsoft, we still had no idea what this game was about. Now look, with games like BanjoKazooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Perfect Dark, cameo elements of power, and of course again, 2018's Sea of Thieves, which continues to garner an incredible audience, Rare knows how to tell a great story, create memorable characters, and offer up incredible visuals with absolute confidence. Well, in the report that I talked about that we're going to discuss right now, it comes to us from our friends at VGC, which of course is short for Video Games Chronicles, and they confirmed Rare is optimistic that this game, Everwild, that has seen a complete reboot of what it originally was, could be releasing in 2024. Now, the big question that I have for you is, will Microsoft give this game and Rare the time it needs to produce a brand new IP? The answer is, I think there is. And I say that with absolute confidence, folks, because look what just happened with Halo Infinite. Now, for me, the game is a 10 out of 10. For me, it completely takes 343i or Industries and moves them out of the shadow of Bungie, which they have been standing in since they took over when Bungie left Microsoft to create Destiny. I think it's an incredible game. Is it a perfect game? No, it's not a perfect game, but it is a 10 out of 10 because it delivers in both single player and multiplayer, which, by the way, I'm still playing the single player 50 plus hours later because I absolutely love it. Well, The point I'm trying to get to, and of course, Mrs. Boomstick says I am long winded, and she's right for saying so, is that with time, with some cultivation, love, and care, a game that was in trouble can be great. And I think that Everwild is one of those titles. Now, look, on this week's new episode of Xbox Era, who are personal friends of mine, and they're friends of this community, they held, and I say they, Special Nick and of course Jeff Grubb held their second annual Jeff Grubbmas Holiday Spectacular. And of course, if you don't know who Jeff Grubb is, first of all, not only is he a gentleman, but he is a journalist that I trust. And he is someone that I think you should definitely check out on social media. It's at Jeff Grubb. He does write for VentureBeat. He himself confirmed live on the air that Rare has in fact rebooted Everwild from its original ideology. So it's not the same game. I actually have a quote from what Jeff had to say, and it's concerning, but bear with me for a second. He says this: Rare rebooted it, and they don't know what the state of it really is in terms of what they expect it to be. They are still figuring it out. It's a mess. Now, look, Jeff has a significant amount of insider connections within the industry. Not only do I believe him, but I do trust him. And yes, I actually have real concerns for a game, for me, that looked like it had limitless potential. Though this is where the half full glass conversation comes into play. I believe Rare is going to turn this around. And we saw them do that with Sea of Thieves, right? Sea of Thieves launched. It was not a broken mess, but it was a game that lacked content. You felt like you didn't have enough to do in the world. Now, for me, and I've said this publicly, I love Sea of Thieves. I don't play it because it's not my type of game. See, I'm a single player, selfish experience kind of a dude. When the Jack Sparrow DLC launched, I played that and quite enjoyed it because I could play it alone and just do my own thing. And I enjoy doing it. Yes, do I appreciate multiplayer? Sure, because I play the hell out of Halo. But for games like an Everwild, I'm hoping that Rare does what Rare does best and tell a strong single-player story experience. Now, I will say that Rare does in fact have an incredible stable of talent, and I really believe that they can deliver a magical world filled with wonder, memorable characters, and a story that could in fact bring us both hope and sorrow. Now, my question to you, the listener, is simple, complex, and of course extremely loaded. What are you hoping that Rare Limited delivers when Everwild is released potentially in 2024? Do you want a single-player, story-driven title with a world that has limitless stories for you to discover on your own? Or do you want an open world to explore with friends, to see you guys and gals gunning for the next dungeon, looking for the best loot? Maybe it's something totally different than what I have projected. But whatever it is, and whenever it releases, I am totally interested to hear your thoughts. So I ask this: please consider dropping your opinions in the comments section below, and I would greatly appreciate that. Now, as you saw running in the background, that is actual gameplay that I pulled from Rare. We're just seeing a documentary which they talk about the game, and this was from 2020, so we don't have an update of what they're doing. But I do want to say that I have full faith in Rare. I know a lot of people say they haven't done great things since their days with Nintendo back in the early 2000s, but I don't believe that. I believe that the Rare that we have seen make games for the Xbox 360, for the Nintendo 64, and even the most recent Sea of Thieves tells a story that they know what they're doing. And look, I have always said that I would love Rare to revisit older characters. I'd love Rare to reboot Banjo-Kazooie. My heart is never going to be unbroken because they do not want to go back to old characters. I can't argue with that. I know they want to make new IPs, and I understand it. Am I a little bit disappointed? Sure. But I do believe that we're going to get a Banjo-Kazooie. Unfortunately, it's not going to come from Rare. I will say that with everything that we know, sometimes when you can't figure out what you're doing, a fresh start is the best way, or the best medicine, if you will. And this is what has happened with Everwild. This is what happened at Rare with a new creative director who has taken over. And I believe we're going to get an incredible, original new IP from one of the top developers in the community that we know as gaming. But again, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to check out episode number 7 of X-Vlog. This is a new series that apparently you folks are really enjoying, and I can't thank you enough for checking it out. And of course, I'll say it again because I've been scolded by many of my peers for not asking for it. If you're new to the channel, if you are enjoying the content, I humbly request that you consider subscribing. Again, we are so close to 10K, 700 plus subs away, and I would love to hit that in the first quarter of 2021. We've seen so many of my peers, so many brothers hit that mark. Xbox Era hit it this year. BitCloud Gaming hit it. My brothers over at the Iron Lords podcast hit it. And I could not be more proud. And I want to join that 10K club. When with your help, I can in fact do that. And of course, if you are already subscribed and you are enjoying this video, please, for the love of Joe, hit that little like button. It does help more than you actually know. And of course, this is Mr. Boomstick signing out. And I want to wish everyone a great day, a safe holiday, a happy 2022. And I'll see you in the next video.